let's continue with our study of conditional formatting. So how can we summarize numerical sports data or any sort of data in Excel? There are really three nice ways visually to summarize. Data bars, and what that means is the bigger the number, the bigger the data bar you put in a cell. Color scales, big numbers would be green, small numbers red, intermediate numbers yellow. Use this a lot to summarize how good lineups are for college and pro basketball teams. And then there's icon sets, like a thumbs up means a big number, a thumbs down means a down arrow means a bad number. So let's go back to James Harden's stats. Let's look at his points in every game in 2014, 2015, and summarize them with data bars, color scales, and icon sets, and they all have their virtues in this situation. So if you want to summarize with data bars, you should widen the column so you can really see the difference between, let's say, a 6-point James Harden game and a 50-point James Harden game. So I've widened this column, and all you got to do is select the data. You teach this to a kid in kindergarten, and you go Home, Conditional Formatting, Data Bars, and pick a color, and there you go. So when James Harden had that 6-point game there, that's a really small data bar, and you can see if the bars are big for a long time, he's really red hot. There's that 50-point game. The biggest number will have a data bar that fills the entire cell, and everything's proportional to that. So I think he scored most was 51 points. I can't find it here. But see, that 50-point data bar fills in almost the entire cell. Now, what do data bars do with negative numbers? I should quickly talk about this. So with negative numbers, if I had something like this, and I go data bars, see, it makes the negative numbers point to the left and the positive to the right. And so if you look at how many points you beat the opponent by, you might have a negative amount if you lost the game. So that's fairly important. Okay, now color scales, you do sort of the same way. You just select this. You do Home, you do Conditional Formatting, you do Color Scales. I like green, yellow, red. You can adjust the colors. But so when he really did well, you'll see it green when he got the biggest number will be the greenest, and then they get less green. Then they shift to sort of red and orange, and then the worst numbers are yellow. So the red numbers are the lowest, the yellow in the middle. So the worst game was 6 points. That'll be the reddest. The 11-point will be slightly less red, etc. But the games in the 40s and 50s will be the greenest. But notice that the 33-point green starts shifting to the other color in the middle. Okay. Now the icon sets are, I think, what most people prefer. So what you do is you select the points, and now there are a bunch of choices: conditional formatting, icon sets. Now I like the 5 gray arrows, but it doesn't quite do what you think probably. Most people are getting into cell phones, bars of service. So they like 4 bars through 0 bars, and you can mix and match, as I'll show you. Okay, so when the really good games where he scores 51 points, that's an up arrow. But you probably think, since there are 5 icons, the top 20% of games have an up arrow, and you'd be wrong. What happens here, if you go to Conditional Formatting, Manage Rules, by the way, Clear Rules will get rid of your rules. You can edit your rules. And if you look here and you click on this, you'll see it says 80%. So what that means is, okay, and 60%. If you look between the lowest James Harden game and the highest James Harden game, so he went from 6 to 51 points. Okay, that's 45 points difference. Sorry, 6 to 51. Okay, if you break that up into 5 equal areas, I guess you'd go sort of like 43 to 51. I'm putting a quote here so it looks like text. That would be the up arrow. Okay, now if I go 34 to 42, I might be off a little bit here. You get the half up. And then the next 9 points, 26 to 30, 25 to 33, half down, sorry, flat. 16 to 24, half down. I'm off by a little bit here because it should be 6 to 14. You divide that, but roughly speaking, total though. Now the problem with this is, okay, it may not be in 20% of his games he scored 43 to 51 points. Okay, so . And so you want 20% of the games to have an up arrow. You need to change this to percentile. So if you select this range, go to conditional formatting. Like for example here, if you had a game in the low 40s, I guess he did it. But basically, yeah, here's he scored 40 points. It's a half up arrow. But my guess is that should be a totally up arrow because that was one of the top 20% of his games. Okay. So when I select here, for example, it could be for one game between 43 and 51, you'd only see one up arrow, and I don't think that's what you want. So you go conditional formatting, manage rules, okay, change everything to percentile. And by the way, you can change the colors here. So like instead of a dull gray arrow, I can make that a green. Instead of this down arrow, I mean, not stupid, but I'll make that 0 bars. So you can just customize this. So now that 6-point game has the 0 cell phone bars. And that 40-point game, if I can find it, see now it's got an up arrow, so things change. One last thing on the icon sets. Go manage rules. Go edit rules. Okay, reverse icon order. So if you're looking at turnovers, a low number of turnovers would be good, not a high number. So you'd want the thumbs up arrow for a low number. You would click on reverse icon order. But these things are very useful, the data bars, the color scales, and the icon sets to summarize your data. So what we're going to learn in the next video is how can you create conditional formatting based on formulas rather than just click a button. Clicking a button's fine, but it doesn't solve every problem, as you'll see in the next video when we look at some.
Okay, so thanks for watching, and there's a free course, a free 21-day course from Dr. Winston, and all of these videos are coming from one of 3 books. So first, this one, which you can see here at the top of the screen, Microsoft's book, which has 355 reviews, and then it's, let's see, 4.6 stars. It's coming from this book as well, his marketing analytics book, which is down here, and you can sort of see 4.5, or his newest book, his analytic stories book, which is here. And with that one, you can see it's 4 point something, or maybe even 5. I don't think it's 5. Yeah, 4.8. And so, yeah, anyways, in the description, there's a free 21-day course from Dr. Winston, or you can go to excelwithwayne.com/free, and it'll be there. But again, thanks for watching, and if you have any questions, just please let us know. Thanks.